Hey, this video is for anybody having trouble with their CW5000 water chiller for their CO2 laser. Mine is a Thunder Nova 24, but this type of water chiller comes with most Thunder lasers, I think. My problem was the alarm would sound constantly and the laser would not function. There was no error codes on the display. The temperature readout was functioning. Everything was working except for the fact that the alarm would not go off after a few seconds like it normally does. So this is what I found what the problem was for me and what worked. If you look at any of the guides online, it's going to tell you check for flow, check for voltage, check to make sure it turns on. I did all those things and was kind of at a dead end and wasn't sure where to go. If this sounds like your situation, this is the first thing that you need to check. First, you want to take the case off. So it's just screws around the top, and then take the cap off of the chiller, and then the case will slide out. And then we'll look at here in the back where the flow switch is. That was my problem. We'll check that out. So here's the top of the unit. Here's where a lot of the stuff plugs in. You really don't need to be concerned with any of this stuff if you have gone through the troubleshooting guide and found out that none of the information has helped. This back here is the flow switch right here. There's a yellow, two red, and one black wire coming out of the flow switch. The first thing that you can do to check to make sure that the flow switch is working, take the 4 screws out. The top of the flow switch will come off, and what will be exposed is a little paddle flywheel that the water flows through. Just make sure that that spins freely, and if it does, then the problem is probably with the actual electronics of the flow switch. So if you found that the paddle will rotate correctly, just follow the wires back to this hookup right here. And if you look down through, what you need to do is get a multimeter, test the yellow to red and test the black to red. So put one lead from the multimeter on the black wire. There's enough space that your probe should be able to fit in there. Put one on the black, one on the red. You should get 24 volt readout or something close to that. You should get the same for the yellow to red when you test the yellow to red. I was getting 0 volts, 0.01 volt from the yellow to red. That's the output. And what happens is if you're not getting an output from the flow switch, then the water chiller does not recognize that there's a flow, and then the alarm will sound and it will not allow you to go any further. So I found that there was 0 volts from the yellow to red wires when I tested with the multimeter. So I went online. You can find the correct flow switch online pretty easily. Here's the old one. There's the, if you can see, you find any switch that has those specifications. Now, what this is actually the top is the old, the bottom is the new component, and you can see it's got this threaded ends on it. What you'll find when you peel the foam back here is that there's no threads, and it's a much thinner tube that connects. But all you have to do is replace the top. So if you replace the top, plug it back in the way that it goes, screw it back down, and then try the power switch, and that fixed the problem. So test with the multimeter. If you got a 0 volt readout from the yellow and red wire, that means the switch is bad. So just order a new switch, replace that, and it should fix your problem.